Copyright disclaimer. Citation of articles and authors in this report does not imply ownership. Works and images presented here fall under Fair Use Section 107 and are used for commentary on globally significant newsworthy events. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Community Guidelines Disclaimer. The points of view and purpose of this video is not to bully or harass anyone, but rather share that opinion and thoughts with other like-minded individuals curious about the subject.
What's up? It's your boy coming at you from Singapore, where we just finished our very first day of shooting on the movie. And oh my god, so many things to tell you.
United Comics Universe.
A universe for fans.
From pages to pictures, we are comics.
Hello, United Comics Universe. This is your host, Joninsho. Well, Shang-Chi just wrapped. We're about to dig into it. Got a few articles on it, see what's going on, see how we feel about it here at the United Comics Universe. This one coming at us straight from Marvel Studios, their page article titled Marvel Studios Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings wraps filming. See Simu Liu and director Destin Daniel Cretton's Instagram celebrating the milestone. This article is by Rachel Page of marvelstudios.com. And it goes like this. If you've been following Instagram, you might have already seen these exciting news, but Marvel Studios Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has wrapped filming. Taken to the social media site, star Simu Liu and director Destin Daniel Cretton shared heartfelt posts celebrating the milestone, calling out the actors and crew members who made the shoot successful. Both Liu and Cretton first shared short and to the point posts with Cretton's simple caption, "We are wrapped," and Liu jokingly that they made it, baby. Continuing, "We can't wait to introduce the movie to the world in 9 months." Yeah, 9 months, that's what we gotta wait. Got some interesting pictures, maybe the editor will throw them up for us. Captioned, "We made it, baby. We can't wait to introduce him to the world in 9 months. The two then elaborated a bit further on their time making Shang-Chi, and Cretton shared an image of him and co-star Awkwafina, explaining he was feeling so lucky to have been able to explore this story with this talent. Wow, they sound hype. Feeling so lucky to have been able to explore this story with this talent, they captioned. Liu then referenced how making the movie was a marathon like no other. Oh, they sound like they put some work in, explaining that filming was shut down for a brief period of time while the set adapted new safety protocols. From the lights to the sound behind the screen and in front. I'm so proud of this crew, of the people, and I can't wait to show you what we made, he writes. Oh man, yeah, we gotta show this picture right here. Hopefully the editor will throw this up here. It's a really bomb diggity jacket that Simu Liu is wearing, Marvel Studios Shang-Chi Legend. It's like one of those stunt team jackets that sometimes we do on production for the old stunt team. Oh man, that looks great right there. I'd love to get my hands on one of those. I would love to. Continuing, our crew came to get it done, he says. This shoot was a marathon like no other, broken up by a massive 4-month hiatus during which the world completely and irrevocably changed. We finally returned to principal photography in July with a promise that we were going to do it right, emphasizing the health and safety of our hundreds of crew members. though the 13 odd weeks back what we made on set, safety an absolute priority, starting from masks and frequent sanitation to rapid testing and pod systems. Everyone sacrificed. And in the end, over 40,000 COVID tests without a single positive. That's awesome. That is awesome. From the lights to the sound, behind the screen and in front. I'm so proud of this crew of people, and I can't wait to show you what we've made. And that's at Destin Daniel. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings again stars Simu Liu, Awkwafina, and Tony Leung. Woo! That's what I'm waiting to see right there. Tony Leung. He's like one of the best. That's been one of my favorites. He's like a masterful talent, if you know what I mean. He is amazing. And a film directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. I'm so hyped about this. I'm so waiting on this film. It's going to be so amazing. And they seem so hype about it. Simu Liu said a few personal things about it, the way he felt. And we'll get to that in a moment. But, well, the current planned date, it opens in theaters on July the 9th, 2021. Yeah, that's a big pushback. But hopefully we actually get it this time. We'll see what happens, right? Now we're going to move over to therap.com. News spot, never been here before. We'll see what they got. I like what I'm seeing so far. Shang-Chi wraps filming. It will be impossible for Hollywood to ignore us. I think that's a quote from Simu. Leading man Simu Liu thinks big things are in store for Marvel's first film with an all-Asian cast. Yes, baby. Wow. That is great. It's that Asian love, right? The Asian pride out there. This weekend, Marvel Studios finished filming on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And Shang-Chi himself, Simu Liu, thinks that some big things are in store for the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first film with cast. For all those who hated us because the color of our skin or been made to feel less than because of it, no more, Liu wrote in a Facebook post on Saturday. This is our movie, and it will be impossible for Hollywood to ignore us after this. Yeah, he's referring to, because, you know, it's a commonly known thing in Hollywood, you pretty much don't really take a chance at casting Asians as like the main lead, big leads and everything. So it sounds like he's feeling like this film here is going to end that stereotype. It's going to end that stigma and set them free to rise to the heights that their talent actually projects and not the label that's put on them. You know what I mean? And it goes on to say, for decades, Asian actors in Hollywood have struggled to stand out in film and TV. When roles intended for Asian actors weren't being given to white actors in heavy makeup, they were often heavily stereotyped and written in to support white leading roles. Bruce Lee, one of the first true global Asian film actors, got his start as a sidekick Kato on The Green Hornet. While Lee's influence helped Kato to be depicted in a better light and his martial arts expertise made him a breakout star, he was paid a fraction of the salary given to Van Williams, who played the Green Hornet, despite having equal screen time. That ain't right. That ain't right. Yeah, that's how it was, though. That's how it was, right? But it sounds like this is going to be one of the most Asian films since something like Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, that's a great film. I know a lot of people seen that. You might want to watch it again because you might feel a little different about it now. But it's great. It's a great film. I still love it to this day. Just watched it a couple months ago. Moving right along, scrutiny over the lack of representation of Asians in American cinema got thrown into the spotlight in 2018 with the release of Crazy Rich Asians, the first American film to feature an all-Asian cast since The Joy Luck Club 25 years earlier. With $238 million grossed at the box office, Crazy Rich Asians became the highest grossing romantic comedy of the 2010s, and a sequel has been greenlit. Wow, they got a sequel greenlit. Nice. Well, I must admit, I haven't even seen Crazy Rich Asians yet. I've been putting that on my to-do list, but I haven't seen it yet. Joy Luck Club, yeah, I loved it. But I hadn't seen Crazy Rich Asians yet. Glad to hear they're getting a sequel. Heard it was great. All the people I know that have seen it spoke very positively of it. And right now you can see Simu Liu and Kim's Convenience. I'm watching that. I've seen all the episodes out to date. I love it. I think it's probably one of the very best TV shows actually on television right now. I love it. I think it's great. Comedy. With the cultural power of the Marvel Cinematic Universe behind it, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is expected to take the ground broken by Crazy Rich Asians and push it even further. While Asian directors have been behind some of the highest grossing blockbusters ever, James Wan has 2 $1 billion plus hits, Furious 7 and Aquaman. Shang-Chi has a chance to become the first film ever with an Asian actor in a leading role to gross over $1 billion worldwide. Wow. Yeah, James Wan, that's my man. I like him. He's dope. I like everything he do. Of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic threatening to force tens of thousands of theaters into bankruptcy, which it is, the pandemic has already forced Shang-Chi, along with the rest of Disney's movie slate, to have its release date pushed back for now. The film is set to release on, again, July the 9th, 2021. So don't miss that release date. And we got something here, like this might be off his Simu Liu's Facebook or Twitter, where he says, "That's a wrap on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. 9 months from now, we will break records and make history as the first superhero movie to feature an all-Asian cast that kicks so much ass, it's not even funny." Well, that's a lie. Actually, it's quite funny too. He says, "For all of us who have hated the color of our skin or been made," you know what he said earlier, I'll move right along from that. But he basically said, "I'll see you then, but probably sooner, actually, because I'm always on here." So I guess he's a I don't really follow him, but I guess he's very prominent on Twitter. And I can't wait to see this film. I hope you're hype about it, because I sure am. I absolutely cannot wait to see it. Let's move on to sci-fi.com. Let's see what they had to say about it. Most film and TV productions are still scrambling to catch up after the coronavirus pandemic delayed, postponed, and otherwise made life difficult for large groups of people to put art on film. But even that couldn't stop the MCU machine from rolling ever forward. After suffering a production halt earlier this year, superhero film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has wrapped production. I just can't wait for this film. Director Dustin Daniel Cretton's movie about martial arts master and Chi channeler. Hold up, as far as I know, in the comics, however, Shang-Chi does not manipulate Chi. As far as I know, he was just like, basically his superpower was just being the most badass martial artist in the Marvel universe, pretty much. You know, he's just like nearly undefeated. We've been beat a few times, but his martial arts is revolutionary, and he even trained a few people in the Marvel comics, like his times with the Defenders, and connected to them, the Daughters of the Dragons. That's pretty much an offshoot of the Defenders, where all the female Defenders joined together. And he trained some of them, like Colleen Wing, helped improve. He trained with Danny Rand, that's the Iron Fist, and those group, Heroes for Hire, the Defenders, and I believe he was a Defender. And in fact, at one point for a short time, he was an Avenger. So do we have that to look forward to? Is he going to be in the next, the next run of the next Avengers team? I hope so. I'd love to see him in there. And I haven't even seen the film yet, but just Shang-Chi, I'm a very big fan of that character. But it says he's channeling Chi, so that sounds like an upgrade. So he's the baddest martial arts ever and can use Chi, similar to Danny Rand. But we'll see what kind of skills he does have with his Chi. Either way, I can't wait to see it. The special effects, and it's supposed to be like a big tournament in the film that all kind of people are supposed to be appearing in. Like, I mean, the rumors say we might see Omega Red in that tournament. We might see Mordo, which I think that might actually happen, because it makes a little bit of a sense. And Valkyrie, who was left in charge of the Asgardians by Thor, she is supposed to send an Asgardian female to the tournament to whatever. And the rumors also say that the tournament is basically filled with people that work for the Mandarin. And I think he did that so that he can win the rings regardless, one way or the other. But they also say that Spiral, her connection to Mojo in his realm, his dimension that Mojo is from, that make me wonder who's actually running the tournament. Is it the Mandarin or is it Mojo? I'm guessing maybe not the Mandarin, since he wants the rings. I don't think he would put his own rings up to risk losing them when he's trying to collect them. And we don't even know if that's for one ring or a couple of rings, or is it for all the rings? Who knows? But it sounds very interesting. We're hearing a lot of stories. But if that's true, that means we're going to have wizards, like from courtesy of Doctor Strange in the film. We're going to have Asgardian. We're going to have all kind of martial arts misfits from all over the place. And if you notice in one of the teaser trailers or whatever, showing some of the filming, you notice in the background you see the Avengers Tower. So that, as far as we know, that's not around anymore. So this film may have actually occurred before probably before even Iron Man. This film may have actually occurred before Iron Man. Maybe they'll, go through, how they cut to 3 months later, 5 months later, 3 years later, maybe they'll show before and after the event, when they were invaded by those aliens. I can't remember their name right now, but when they tried to take over, and Tony Stark dropped the nuke on them. To attack Earth is to court death. Yeah, we showed them what we was working with. Thanks to Tony Stank. Yeah, he got it done. I give it to him. But it's very interesting saying that he's going to be a Chi channel, because that's definitely a change from the comics, which is refreshing. I'd love to see him use a little Chi. I always would have, I'd like to see him and Iron Fist on that level fighting. Okay, going back to it. Filming back in March, then in early August, the film, which built sets in Western Sydney, Australia, looks to be Marvel's first film with expansive Asian representation on both sides of the camera. The cast includes stars like Awkwafina, Ronnie Ching, Michelle Yeoh, and Tony Leung, and thought the plot is still under wraps. The movie looks to subvert some of the racist tropes suffered by characters during the early comic days back in the 70s, when they did a lot of exploitation. Some of it was very, very, very wrong. But first things first, they had to finish filming the movie, and Cretton team did, seemingly over the weekend. Both Liu and Cretton posted celebratory pictures on Instagram to document the occasion. And again, they show that bad ass stunt team jacket. Love it. This is a quote, Simu Liu. Our crew came to get it done. Man, I just can't wait for this film. July the 9th, everyone. July the 9th. If we can keep the date, we'll see what happens. Moving along to Deadline. Let's see what they have to say about it. Titled Shang-Chi wraps filming. Simu Liu and director Dustin Daniel Cretton celebrate first Asian-fronted Marvel Studios superhero pick. The article was by Dino Ray Ramos. Okay, Shang-Chi The Legend of the Ten Rings is the latest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that has completed production. Simu Liu, the frontman of the upcoming superhero pick, as well as the film's director Dustin Daniel Cretton, enthusiastically announced the film he wrapped shooting. And that's when Simu Liu was like, "We made it, baby," declared Liu on Instagram. Yeah, he just seems totally pumped. I think he feels like this is going to really make a big difference, in Hollywood for Asian actors. And I hope he's right. It's time. It is time. In the private Facebook group Subtle Asian Traits, Liu explained the impact of the first Asian-fronted superhero movie at Marvel Studios. Shang-Chi is certainly a milestone in Hollywood, as it will introduce the world to the comic book character created by Marvel in the 70s as an answer to the TV program Kung Fu. In the comics, Shang-Chi is the son of China-based globalistic who raised and educated his progeny in his reclusive China compound, closed off to the outside world. The son is trained in the martial arts and develops unsurpassed skills. He is eventually introduced to the outside world to do his father's bidding, and then has to come to grips with the fact his revered father might be not the humanitarian he is claimed to be. Yeah, in the comics, that's pretty much what happened. His father pretended to be a good guy, turned out to actually be a villain. Then he betrayed his father. Well, he actually, the way I see it, the father betrayed him. And then he was always who he was. He just didn't know how this dude was. And then he did what he had to do. And he was always a good guy, as far as I know. Shang-Chi's always been a good guy. He just, I guess he's a little slow on the uptake. He didn't catch certain things. Back then, the character was steeped in Asian Fu Manchu stereotypes, which would not fly today. Details about the plot of the big screen adaptation have been kept under wraps. With an Asian team in front of the camera and behind the camera, Shang-Chi will hopefully subvert those stereotypes associated with the original IP. Filming for Shang-Chi kicked off in February 2020 and like all productions, it was shut down in March due to the pandemic. Yep, filming resumed in July. The film is set to hit theaters again. Don't forget, July the 9th. And it also says Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige is producing the film. Marvel's Luis D'Apuzzo, Victoria Alonso, and Jonathan Schwartz are EPs. Oh, great. Yeah, sounds hype. Sounds hype. There's just so many unanswered questions. What's going to be in the film? I really do think it's going to occur before probably even Iron Man, because in Iron Man 1 they even it was like a guy who had a tattoo of the 10 rings or something on his neck, and they spoke of the 10 rings, but that was supposed to have been like, I guess, the people pretending to be the Mandarin, the people pretending to be the 10 rings, but there actually is a 10 rings group or whatever that's run by the Mandarin. So in order for that to have even been copied, that means it would have already existed, right? That means that the Mandarin already had the 10 rings, perhaps, to create an organization called the 10 rings. I don't think he would name it that if he didn't already have the 10 rings. I don't know. But it looks like this film may occur either entirely or impartial before Iron Man 1. So that makes you wonder, where's he been? What has he been doing all this time? Where has he been? What you been doing, Shang-Chi? Yeah, who knows? And they're mostly in the urban area, like New York, streets near Hell's Kitchen and everything like that. So we may see some heroes from that era maybe doing some of the things they were doing at the time. And they're saying that the Netflix shows or whatever is not canon or whatever. It's not part of Kevin Feige's MCU or whatever like that. Yeah, I regret that is the way it is, because they should have just all tied it together. It would have been a beautiful tapestry, but I don't know what they couldn't get around. What was the problem? Why they didn't want to make things canon? And then we would hear the things that we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was canon, and then it wasn't. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I am very excited about this film, and I hope you are too. And I can't wait for it to come out in the theaters, hopefully, so we can get the full effect of the film, you know what I mean? But if not, I'm sure Disney Plus will get plenty of orders. I hope the film is a great success and really does have the effect that Simu Liu appears to feel it will. I hope it really does change things in Hollywood for Asian actors and make them more marketable in their opinion, and allow them to rise to their full potential and not be held back by stereotypes. Great news. Glad they finished rapping. Glad no one caught COVID. And glad everything is doing well. July the 9th, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings. Many rumors. I can't wait to see what actually happens. Very interested to know that Shang-Chi got an upgrade and will be channeling Chi. I'm not sure in what manner he will do this, but I can't wait to see it. I'm pretty sure it won't be like what Iron Fist did, because it should be different than that. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. The tournament sounds off the hook. Will we see mutants? Will we see X-Men? Will we see wizards? Will we see Asgardians? Will we see dimensional people like Spiral from another dimension, or maybe long shots connected to her? Is the tournament actually controlled by Mojo? Which that opens up a whole nother bag of apples. Can't wait to see it. Thank you, UCU, for tuning in for this report on the wrapping of Shang-Chi coming out July the 9th. Get ready for it. Get hyped, because it sounds like it's going to be different, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to open up a whole new era or area of the MCU, just like Doctor Strange opened up the mysticism. This will bring this is actually kind of mysticism in it, but martial mysticism, I guess. But I can't wait to see what they do with it. It sounds very exciting. It has some top-notch actors, top-notch talent, especially Tony Leung, Michelle Yeoh. Simu Liu, it seems great. I love him in Kim Convenience, and I haven't seen much of his martial arts, but from what I've seen, he seemed like he has some talent. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And that's my opinion. I'm a martial artist myself, of course, so I can say a little something about it. That is great. United Comics Universe. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share our videos, because that's the only way we can get around censorship. We really appreciate you. And we and you are comics.